like to call the regular village board meeting of the Village of Westmont to order on March 5th, 2015 at 5:30 p.m. Clerk Simsky, roll call, please.
Mayor Gunther.
Here.
The clerk's here. Trustee Addington.
Here.
Trustee Barker.
Here.
Trustee Barry.
Here.
Trustee Nero.
Here.
Trustee Scott.
Here.
Trustee Seneca. Here. Village Manager May.
Here.
And I think our attorney will be here shortly, and I believe it's Anne Marie tonight. Perez.
Okay. Would everybody please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Darn it, I don't think that's her.
Again, welcome everyone. The first part of the meeting, we have open forum. I know Chief Mulhern went around, and if there's anybody here who would like to speak on any item that's not on the agenda, you still can see Chief. He's around here somewhere. I do have one request. Anne Marie Tracy, who lives in the Ashford subdivision, she'd like to come up and talk to us. Vote for me for Promathon Queen. So if you'd like to come up to the podium, and you can tell us all about it.
Okay. So, hi everyone. My name is Anne Marie Tracy, and I've been a resident of Westmont since I was 5 years old. I'm here tonight to ask for your help to vote me to be the next Chicago Promathon Queen. I submitted an essay in December, and I was elected as a finalist, and I've already made it through 2 elimination rounds. I'm now one of 2 girls left, and the winner of this voting round is crowned the queen. All I need is for you to spread the word to your family and friends of Westmont, and please have them vote for me. They can vote by texting, tweeting, and voting online. This is a 120-hour contest, and you can cast up to 3 votes an hour. I'm getting an athletic and academic scholarship to Florida Southern College, where I'll be playing softball for the next 4 years. My softball journey started on the GEMS T-ball team. It was at Twin Lakes Park that I fell in love with this sport because I had so much fun playing the game. I can't believe where that fun has taken me. I love my town of Westmont. My favorite place to go in the world to get ice cream is the Lala Lee Bakery in downtown Westmont. I love going to the Taste of Westmont, holidays, and so much more. I hope that you could be kind enough to spread the word. Voting has already started and goes until Monday at midnight. I have a flyer that has all the information on how to vote, and I truly appreciate your support. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, and good luck, and congratulations on your scholarship.
Thank you so much.
And your flyer, you'll make it available for anybody who'd like to
Okay.
pick one up?
Thank you.
Okay, good luck.
Thank you.
Okay, Chief, anybody else in open forum? Seeing none, I'll close open forum, move on to reports. The first report is the mayor's report, and at this time, it's my pleasure to ask Chief Weiss to please come to the podium. We're going to present the Firefighter of the Year presentation.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, tonight it's my honor to present our Firefighter of the Year for the Westmont Fire Department. This recognition is the person's chosen by their peers. The people get submitted through their peers, and we have a committee of members of the fire department that reviews the nomination. So with that, what I like to do is invite up Lieutenant Tom Bills. And he's on our awards committee, and any other awards committee members, if they can come up. And he wants to present the information and talk a little bit about it.
Okay, this year I'm happy to announce that the Westmont Firefighters Awards Committee has chosen Bill Kelly as our Firefighter of the Year. Bill has been on the department for 15 years now, and he's got his hands in all kinds of different things, including he's on the 2% board. Most importantly, he buys all the condiments and coffee for the firehouse. So, you know, I mean, that really keeps us going, so that was a big part of it. He was formerly on the Westmont Firefighters Association's former SWAT medic, original member of the bike medic program. He received the life-saving award. He's received a citation for successful childbirth in the field. Consistently been a model employee throughout his employment with the Westmont Fire Department. Bill always has a positive attitude and comes to work and makes everybody else feel good about doing their job, and that's a big part of why he received the award this year. He volunteers for multiple committees, and he does a lot of the thankless jobs that other people don't want to do. He steps up and raises his hand and does them. He's an excellent firefighter, always brings a calm demeanor and a positive attitude to work, and I'm happy to announce Bill Kelly, Firefighter of the Year.
Bill Kelly.
Bill, this is 2014 Employee of the Year for Westmont Fire Department. This award is presented to firefighter William Kelly for his outstanding service to the Village of Westmont.
Very nice.
We're going to get you to say something, but before that, why don't you have your family come up and take a picture with you?
One last thing I'd like to say also is Bill is also going to receive the Exceptional Service ribbon, which I have on my uniform here, and he'll be getting that within a week or so. So we're very proud of him.
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank Kevin O'Hare for nominating me, and then the awards committee for choosing me as Firefighter of the Year, and with the approval of the chief. I really do appreciate it, and I feel honored to be chosen by my peers. I owe Westmont Fire Department a great deal of gratitude for the fact that they got my fire career started. They sent me through candidate school, which enabled me to get my firefighter 2, and then put me on the department part-time, where I've been for 15 years, which ultimately got me all my training and a full-time job over at Lyle Woodridge Fire Department. So I appreciate everything that Westmont's done for me and feel so honored to receive this award. Thank you.
And I do have to say, as much as you appreciate us, we really appreciate all the firefighters we have in this community. So again, congratulations to the whole staff. At this point, I'd like to call Community Unit School District 201, who has a presentation. Board President Marie Charlton and Superintendent Kevin Carey
I'm on camera.
is going to give us a presentation of an upcoming, I think, referendum.
Well, I must say, that is going to be very hard to follow. So we'll do our best. All right, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Marie Charlton. I'm the school board president at District 201, and Mr. Kevin Carey, our superintendent. We'd like to thank the village and the trustees and the mayor for allowing us to take a few minutes of your time. It is very important for us that the community knows exactly what our plans and our thoughts are for our buildings and the safety and security of our school buildings. So let me start through this, and then if there's any questions at the end, we'll be happy to answer them. So number one, CUSD 201, we are the small giants.
Carries.
Okay. First, Westmont High School was built in 1976. We wanted to just let people know the age of our buildings. Westmont Junior High was built in 1974. Manning Elementary, 1928. Miller, 1957. And South School, where we have our early childhood center and our district offices, were built in 1927. So where we are and how we got there. Number one, in our district, we've had leadership changes. First, the Board of Education hired Mr. Kevin Carey as our superintendent in 2009. We have hired Mr. Jack Balderman as our Westmont High School principal, Mr. John Jonak as our junior high principal, Miss Kristen Krestel as our Manning Elementary principal, and Miss Edith Rivera as our Miller principal. And we are very proud of those leadership changes in our district. Trying to avoid this, but we established new fundamental programs. We opened an early childhood center. We started full-day kindergarten classes, which I'm happy to share that other districts in the area are calling us and asking us how ours is going. We're very proud of that. We've started a dual language programs, and we've instituted Rachel's Challenge. And what Rachel's Challenge is a positive behavior program following a recommendation from our climate committee. We have worked on the learning and building improvements. We have created new modern libraries and media centers at both our elementary schools, Manning and Miller. We've created a new kindergarten classroom at Miller. We have installed exterior windows at the high school, which is something that is very much appreciated by the students and faculty there. And we've provided air conditioning in all of our buildings. We have also freed up classroom space at Manning by moving the district offices to South School. We've balanced physical classroom space at Manning and reduced class sizes and have maintained elementary neighborhood schools. We are proud of our financial stability. We have balanced our budget during the recession. We have tied our teachers' salary increases to CPI. All of our staff and administration took a one-year pay freeze. We have received a certificate of excellence in financial reporting award. And we have board policies to mandate long-term fiscal responsibility. We have even brought back programs that were previously cut. We've expanded class offerings at the Westmont High School, including AP advanced placement classes. We have not cut any sports or arts programs, and we are not expecting to do any in the near future. Very happy about that. Westmont High School's success and what it looks like. We are very, very proud of Westmont High School, and so we are lovingly calling them our bragging rights. Westmont High School is the most improved high school in Illinois in 2014. That was a huge feat, and I would like to congratulate Mr. Carey and Mr. Jack Balderman, probably much more so the students of Westmont High School for that. The ACT composite score rose to a 10-year high. Westmont has the most improved AP program in Illinois. We had an increase of 210 students taking AP classes, up from 30 the year before, and we had an increase of 407 AP exams taken, up from 69. Miller Elementary School's math ISAT scores rose from 74% to 91%. That's meets or exceeds. Chicago Sun-Times ranks our 4 schools. The junior high, top 37%, Manning, top 16%, high school, top 15%, and Miller, top 12%. So, here's where we are at this point. The board listens to the community. There have been 3 separate facility committees over the past 7 years. The first one, 2007, the district strategic plan stated under finance and facilities, goal number 1, continue to provide safe facilities for the use and enjoyment of District 201 and the greater community. Measurable objectives, increase security at all buildings. Then in 2008 and 2009, the facility committee stated district-wide recommendation, improve security at all buildings, recommended implementation 1 to 3 years. And in 2011, security and safety, all facility improvements should include a dedication to maintaining and improving a secure environment for all students, staff, and visitors. So, referendum 2.0, as we like to call it, April 2015. What has changed? First thing that we have done is we have taken, there's our main pieces to this referendum from the last referendum. The high school. Pool updates have been removed from this plan, so we have deleted $1.8 million from the plan total. The junior high, we've taken out balancing classroom sizes to the amount of $3.9 million. Manning, at this point in time, we're eliminating the car drop-off lane, which is $200,000 out of the budget, out of the plan. And Miller, outside site work and art music room renovations taken out. At this point, the current cost per school in the new referendum is Manning is $8.2 million, Miller $3.8 million, junior high $1.4 million, and high school $6.8 million. So these are the revised plans for the high school. I'm going to see if I can make this work. The majority of what we're trying to do here, and I'm going to use this one over here, the whole entranceway to the high school right here. Right now, when you walk in, you have to get buzzed in, but you can come in this way. And now the plan is to take all of these offices here, close them in, and have a secure entranceway where you'd walk into a main office. All of these classrooms over here, and we'll have pictures in a moment, are all rooms that do not have walls. They have just partitions. One of the things that I've learned is that when the school was built with this open floor plan, a lot of people were not exactly happy about it, yet it does exist. And ever since it's been built, I know people have been talking about walls and windows at the high school. So we are happy to say we've achieved the windows. We're trying to take care of the walls right now. Junior high. The one thing about the junior high that we are very proud of is the entranceway to the junior high. And if you've not seen it, that's the school that we're trying to emulate. When you walk into the junior high, you have to go through the office right here. You have to go through, and you cannot go into the school without going into the main office and then going out. That is the plan for all of the buildings. And then the spots in green on the plan, those are also rooms that do not have walls and doors. And I believe, everybody knows that nowadays the issue of security in schools is of paramount importance. And I would like to say thank you to our police department, especially Mr. Schlicker, who's done a great job of coming in and teaching the students what to do in case there is an outside intruder. The problem with our challenges right now is that we don't have doors on a lot of these rooms. And that is a challenge for a lockdown. We do the best we can with what we have. Miller, the plan is to have a secure entranceway at the front. Right now, both Miller and Manning, when you walk into the building, and you'll be able to see this, you can walk upstairs or downstairs and be in a classroom before you're ever in the office. So the plan is to have a new entrance on Miller. Same place where the current one is, but expanded. Also, we are looking at being ADA compliant in our buildings. We have a lift in both Manning and Miller, but it is not adequate. It breaks regularly, and any of the students that need that who are in wheelchairs always lose a lot of classroom time because they're not able to be in an elevator. So the plan for both Miller and Manning is to also have elevators. Also, when we have visitors to our school, which we do many times, parents or grandparents that are in elevator in wheelchairs, they cannot get around the building. Here's the front of Manning. Now, right now, when you come into Manning, it's off the alley. It is probably the least desirable way to enter an elementary school. It's off an alley. It's also, you have to be buzzed in, but again, the office is up the stairs and over to the side. So the new plan is to make a new front entrance way for Manning. So some of our referendum stats. In the spring of 2014, 22% voted yes, but the community did not like the funding mechanism. In the fall of 2014, the yes votes doubled to 44%. With restructured funding, some of the community wanted to narrow the focus. In the spring of 2015, the board has restructured the funding and has tightly focused the projects on safety and learning. One of the things we've been asked many times is, why are you doing it again? And I can answer that, well, there's many reasons. Number one, the issues that are in front of us right now are not going away. They're going to be there forever. Those challenges will be there. And number two, one thing we learned very much is most referendums do not pass on the first time. The idea is to get the referendum question out there and then get feedback from your community. And that's one thing we have done quite a bit. So, the last time CUSD 201 passed a referendum was in 1985. Now, that was a long time ago. That was a popular fashion sense, maybe not too popular. Okay, so where do we go from here for safer, better schools? Our schools need safety upgrades and improved learning environments. Our schools need to be ADA compliant. We must maintain our schools as a community asset for years to come. CUSD 201 schools are a wise investment. Increased revenues must be part of the solution. The state budget is broken and they cannot fund our structural needs. Your current board and administration have been a wise custodian of your tax dollars during the long recession. Fiscal stewardship is a high priority in District 201, and I will at this point thank our business manager, Ms. Kim Anderson, for keeping us all on our toes and with our finances. And unfortunately, the only way that the district can get additional revenue is from property taxes. We have no other avenues for this funding. Supporting CUSD 201 schools is a wise investment. I won't read these, but these are 3 quotes about, even if you don't have children in the district, how important the schools are to the community. And so if you have children in the district, if you don't have children in the district, if you used to have children in the district, or if you know of some children in the district, it is a community-wide investment to make sure that the schools are as safe and that the best learning environment for them. So 2 things we wanted to bring out as we have learned from the community are 2 myths that have been out there. Number 1 is that the district has $7 million in operational funds and should not be looking to the community for a referendum. The truth is that the district has $2 million in operations and maintenance fund. Those funds are used for all district maintenance projects throughout all 5 school buildings. A leaky roof, damaged furnace, anything that comes along. As we also showed earlier, our buildings are very old, and so these kind of things come up at all the time. The new plan is to use some of these funds to start safety projects this summer, particularly locks on all the doors that we currently do have. The other one, this is the one I like the best, is that the referendum money is used for principal offices. And as much as we love our principals, this is wrong. The safety plans mandate secure entrances for all our visitors. Again, as I said, like our junior high. This is to ensure that all visitors will be prevented from entering classroom spaces. Visitors will be held in the main office in each school until they are signed in, cleared by the staff, and given a security pass for their specific designation. The cost-benefit analysis. The cost, at this point, 73 cents per day for the average home, based on a home valued at $250,000. We will have a tax calculator on our district website showing if your home is either above or below that amount, you can figure for yourself what that cost would be. Benefits, just a few. We are finally fixing the structural safety defects of our building. We would be giving our children the best study areas that we can, knowing that our children are safe when they are in school. One thing I'm going to put up in a minute, we're going to have show and tell, we call them show and tell building tours in our school. And one of the reasons, again, I thank you for letting us, having us here, is we want to show people what it's like at the high school when you are in one classroom and maybe you're taking a test. And the class right next to you, the Spanish class, might be watching a video in Spanish. It is a very, very difficult environment to be in. Our principals and teachers have done the best that they can with what we have, but it is a huge learning infringement on that. So, a sad state of the times. Recently, a lawsuit was filed against the school board and the town of Newtown by the families of the slain students in Newtown, Connecticut. One of the allegations that there was lax security at the school. The lawsuit also alleges the town was negligent in not having a more secure entranceway to the school, and because it did not have bulletproof glass on the front windows, as well as having doors that couldn't be locked from the inside. One of the other pieces in our plan are all first floor doors and windows will have a secure film on them. It doesn't make them absolutely positively bulletproof, but it's shatterproof, and anything we can do to slow down the amount of time that an outside intruder would get in would be helpful. So the ballot question on April 7th is right there. I don't think I need to read it. Now we have a little video that we'd like to show you just with a few pictures of what our structural challenges are. So in conclusion, we would like to invite the community to please come to our show and tell building tours. There will be Wednesday, March 11th at 7 o'clock at the high school. We will have a meeting and a tour of the building so people can see the things that we showed you in those videos. Wednesday, March 18th, there will be a Manning Elementary meeting at 7 o'clock, and Wednesday, March 18th will also be one at 7 o'clock at Miller. The parents in this school district know what these buildings look like, but we really would like to invite any members of the community to come and see for yourself. Once again, I would like to thank you on behalf of the board and Mr. Carey. We can come and talk, and I know you all know this, we can come and talk and give information about the plans of the district. There is a parent group, and they can tell you their piece. But our job is to just get the information out to our community. So number one, we'd like to say thank you very much for the time to get this message out to the community. And then if there are any questions, I'm going to turn that over to Mr. Carey.
And again, we're very proud. We had an opportunity, several of us, to attend a meeting about a month ago for economic development. We had, Kevin was there as well as Dr. Riley from Marker School District, and both school districts have shown a remarkable improvement And I think we read it in the paper, 201 has been the largest jump of any school in the state of Illinois. So we're extremely proud of all our schools in town. So I just had to add that because it was exciting to hear that news. So any questions from the board? Anybody in the audience would like to ask a question? Such a good presentation, you covered everything.
I'll just make a statement. I don't live in 201, but I'm certainly proud of 201 because 201 is Westmont. So even if you don't live in 201, all of these things are important. However, it's only 201 that can go out and vote. And I'll be the first one to say, if I lived in 201, I would be supporting this and knocking on doors. I think it's critical.
Good point.
And I can say that.
And we all know a strong school system improves the whole community.
In my opinion, it's a key to a community. It's what brings in new families. It's what brings in development. It brings in new stores. We've had the opportunity at Rotary. We just had our foreign exchange students Skype with us on Tuesday. And the kids, every time I see one of these kids, I'm so impressed, so overwhelmed. They've done a lifetime, and they're not even graduated from high school yet. So the job that 201 is doing is great, and I hope you guys get the resources to continue with this. So, thank you.
Well, we are proud of our
Scott.
leaders in what they have done academically. I mean, they really have turned these things around, and it's nice to be the school that people are now coming and asking us questions about, like our dual language program, our early childhood program, because we are pre-K through 12, and it starts with the youngsters, and it's a wonderful place to be in, to be that school that people want to emulate. So,
Awesome.
Trustee Scott?
I think someone once said, good schools bring in good businesses bring in good residents. And it starts with you guys right there.
Yep.
Thank you.
thank you very much. We
Thank you.
appreciate your time.
Great.
Moving on to a couple more items under the mayor's report that I have the honor not only to announce the Citizen of the Year on March 25th at the Westmont Community Awards dinner at the Chicago Oak Brook Hilton Resort, but I also get to unveil the 6 finalists that we have for Citizen of the Year. And they are Robin Gardner, Liz Meneses, Bob Plowman, Chris Switek, Pam Wagner, and Jim Wright. Those 6 are our finalists. It's a great group. Whoever's voting on this got a tough decision. I understand they're meeting Saturday, and we'll make that decision. I will not know the winner until that evening when the envelope will be handed to me. So if anybody's interested in attending, you can contact the chamber at 630-960-5553. March 28th, I will have coffee with the mayor, but it'll be a noon coffee with the mayor at the Golden Basket at 2 West Naperville Road. It's open to anybody who'd like to come out and attend. We welcome people to come and just exchange ideas and comments with us. Other than that, I do not have any other items. I'll go on to the clerk.
Just again reminding everybody that you can still register to vote until Tuesday, the 10th. So come in and register if you haven't already registered. And secondly, early voting will start on the 11th. So, and I know that Downers Grove is one of the early voting poll sites. Yorktown has an early voting site. So they're available, people. They aren't that far away. If you can't be here election day, then get out and vote early. But vote. If you don't vote, don't complain. Simple as that.
Amen.
Thank you. That's Attorney.
I don't have any report. I just want to apologize for not being here exactly at 5:30. I don't think I've ever had to come at 5:30 with all the traffic. And then, of course, getting stopped by the train. So I apologize for not being here exactly at 5:30.
That's not an issue. Then we'll go to Manager May.
I had nothing, Mayor. Thank you.
Move on to the trustees' reports, and along with the trustee reports, we'll ask for their committee reports. And we'll start with trustee Barry.
I will start. The Public Works, we met prior to last meeting, and so we won't meet for a couple months. But again, the guys are out there working and salting and fighting all the elements in the cold and so forth, so we appreciate everything that they do. And the Environmental Improvement Commission, I have nothing to report. They will meet at the beginning of next month. Just two things that I would like to report on a sad note. I would like to send my condolences to the Kwaszak family. Joe Kwaszak has passed away. He was a past library board president, and Mrs. Kwaszak had taught at South School for many, many years, and one of their sons works for the village currently. So again, my condolences to the Kwaszak family. And then if I could just remind everyone about Illinois Reads. Will be coming up on April 18th. There we go. This will kick off the literacy program for the state of Illinois, highlighting the Illinois authors. And there's more information available from the school. Amy Quattrone is the contact at the junior high, and you'll be seeing a lot more about it. And that's what I have tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Addington.
Thank you, Mayor. Couple things. One is that the budget process for us will be starting here in the next couple of weeks. And some citizens have already reached out with suggestions for sidewalks and some other things. If anybody has something that they think should be addressed or looked at, there's no guarantees that it would reach into the budget, but this is the time for you to tell us if there's something that you see in your neighborhood that maybe should at least be addressed or talked about during budget time. If we don't budget for it, wait till next year. So let us know. Again, we always are pleased to hear from everyone. And, you know, if you see something in your neighborhood that should be addressed, whether it's a sidewalk, whether it's the street, whether it's the whatever, this is the time to talk about it. And so please let us know. The other thing is economic development is extremely busy. And I would like to introduce Jennifer McCartney. Jennifer is the Administrative Director for the Chicago Prostate Center, and she's going to talk about a race that's coming up. But we were very pleased a couple of weeks ago to take a tour of that facility with the Economic Development Group, and it's an impressive facility. Thank you. And Dr. Moran is an impressive young man to meet. So Jennifer, the floor is yours.
Okay. How do we get this up there? How do we get my...
We got to get your...
Thank you. Okay. So I'm an administrative director at Chicago Prostate Center, and I'm happy to be here tonight. I'm going to talk to you about the center and what we do. First, we're at 815 Pasquinelli Drive. Many of you have seen us off of Route 83, the big white building. And it was built from new construction in 2006. Prior to that, we were down the street leasing space. It's from 1997 through 2006. We're a licensed ambulatory surgery center with Joint Commission accreditation, and we have 31 employees and 84 physicians on staff, urologists, radiation oncologists, and anesthesiologists. And what we do is we specialize in the treatment of prostate cancer with prostate brachytherapy, also known as radiation seed implants. So that's one of the treatments for prostate cancer. We also do a comprehensive mapping biopsy of the prostate. And this biopsy, we're diagnosing cancer in about 40% of patients that have had previous office biopsies that have come back negative. We're considered a center of excellence in the healthcare community. And since 1997, we've treated over 16,000 patients. We actually had 20,000 patients come through the door for evaluation. Last year alone, we had 22 patients from out of state and 5 patients from other countries. I think we're going to see more of that. Patient satisfaction, we're 99 percentile. Most of our referrals are from former patients. Our mission is to provide ethical evaluation, appropriate opinions, state-of-the-art treatment, compassion to patients while improving quality and outcomes. We do physician training and proctoring, where we'll train physicians on how to do the procedure. They'll spend a day, maybe a week, following Dr. Moran and our staff. We also work with the Prostate Cancer Foundation of Chicago, and they're in our building. We share all of our patient data with them. They do research and education. We publish in medical journals. We present at national and international medical conferences. We host monthly prostate cancer support group meetings, and then we have our race that's coming up in September that hopefully will be approved again. Vision and goals is to educate really on prostate cancer awareness, and that seed implants is a treatment for prostate cancer compared to external beam radiation and surgery. Actually has the same or better cure rates. It's a one-time outpatient procedure. Men can return to work or normal activity the next day. It's the least side effects, excellent quality of life. It's actually the least costly treatment. And now with healthcare changes, that's a big plus. The baby boomers are here. Since 2010 is when the baby boomers really started. By the end of 2020, you're going to see about 1/3 more of the population on Medicare. We're working with accountable care organizations, and they work with hospitals. Advocate has their own ACO, and the advantage with working with us is we can provide excellent care and the least cost. So it's an advantage for them to send their patients to us than doing this in the hospital. And then with the Affordable Care Act again, with the least costly treatment with great cure rates, it's just a great alternative. To learn more about us, you can come for a tour. I'll show you around. You can call us, visit our website, prostateimplant.com. Our foundation has a separate website, chicagoprostatefoundation.org. We have a Facebook page, Twitter, and we try to do some blog posts. And that's what I have. Questions?
I know that everybody who went on, unfortunately, I didn't make the tour, but everybody who went was raving about the facility. Any questions?
Oh, it's
We're
great.
glad they're in
It's-
Westmont.
Yes?
Yes.
Very proud of you being here.
It's an amazing facility. Very impressive.
Thank you.
Anybody from the audience have a question before Trustee Addington asks one?
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next is, just so everyone knows, the Dunkin' Donuts on Ogden Avenue that was on the north or on the east side of Cass is not gone, it's just moved. They're now in the old Dairy Queen facility, but they're still here, so we haven't lost them. And I understand after our meeting Wednesday morning that Dairy Queen is thinking about coming back, so they've got to find another facility. But that's
Domino
good.
effect. Domino effect right here.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, they're east of Cass Avenue, then about 2 blocks, right? 2, 3
Yeah,
blocks? Okay.
yeah. They went from 2015 east to 121 west, so it's only a couple of block move, but just so you know
West,
that
yeah.
we haven't lost them. Although they put a sign up in their door that said they're moving to 121 east, but that's okay. We've had one name change. The bank that's right across the street here, that used to be Community Bank of DuPage, has changed their name. They're now Byline Bank. So it's not new. It was just purchased and a name change. So same service and same group of people. And the old motel, some of you may have noticed on Ogden Avenue, was knocked down. And there are cars parked there now, and the reason for that is that property was purchased by Napleton Auto Group to service some additional parking needs that they have. So once we get rid of the ice and the snow and some of the other things, you'll see some nice upgrades to that property, and that's going to turn out to be a positive. So economic development really keeps moving forward on a very positive basis. We had another building that has sat fettered on 63rd Street for 3-4 years now, that people are looking at to redevelop. We're seeing a lot of positives. The future is maybe a little bit brighter than the past, and we keep going forward, and we keep getting new people coming in, talking about Westmont and talking about bringing this new business on 63rd Street would be their first entry into Illinois, and they want to make this their flagship for that entry into this state. So those are positives. And we keep looking for more opportunities. Larry Forsberg and his staff is doing a phenomenal job of being out there and reaching out and finding folks and bringing them to town. And that's it, sir.
Thank you. Trustee Scott.
Thank you. We had a finance committee meeting prior to this one. We discussed hotel, motel, tax grant request processes. And we also had a presentation on the Illinois Reads by the assistant principal, Amy Quattrone, from the junior high school. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Nero.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple of items. As far as Public Safety Committee, we haven't had a meeting in a couple weeks. The next meeting will be April 16th, I believe. And next for Stormwater Infrastructure, the referendum, we will have one more presentation at Village Hall on the 26th at 6:30 p.m. right here. I believe that's the last one. If you need any more info, please contact Larry McIntyre at info@westmont.il.gov or at 630-417-0280. He's more than willing to provide information or do any presentation if needed. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Barker.
Two things. Westmont First, they'll meet again at 7 p.m. on Wednesday, March 18th here at Village Hall. And also, I believe, on March 19th, Thursday at 4 p.m., the Community Development Committee will meet here as well. We encourage Westmont residents to attend both of those meetings. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Seneca.
Thank you. I have a couple of things, so please indulge me. We did have another flash mob. There was a lot of mob action on Cass this past Saturday at La Petite Suite. It was a great turnout. Many, many people came into the store. Bob and Diane were just so grateful and so happy to see so many new faces, faces that I know will be going in again because their product is wonderful. Well, there will be another flash mob this Saturday, thanks to Bob Plowman, who is the sort of the orchestrator of all this, and that will be at sort of bittersweet. It's going to be at Novel Experience, which is the bookstore on Cass Avenue. Sadly, she's going to be closing the end of the month, but we're going to do a grand finale farewell flash mob, so I urge everyone to go in and take advantage of some of the sales that she'll have going, and wish her well. She's been here about 3 years, and I'll tell you, she has worked hard to make a go of that business, and we all know it's not easy in today's environment to have a small business on a main street, so she did a great job while she was here. We hate to see her go. Also, I have something else that I want to just kind of talk about a little bit, and that is the first Wednesday of March annually is, it's the annual awareness campaign to take a stand to end the R word. You may have heard of this, or maybe you didn't. The R word being, yes, retard or retarded. And I just want to talk a little bit about that. When you look at people with special needs or intellectual disabilities or whatever it may be, at the end of the day, they're really no different than any of us, and many are extremely successful. And when I say that, 3 people come to mind, and chances are you know them all, and I'll just tell you who they are. First of all, I think everyone has heard of Temple Grandin, a fabulous writer. She has been nominated for Emmys. She has won Golden Globes. She has written books. She is a professor at Colorado State University in animal science, extremely brilliant and extremely successful, and a major contributor to society and to people everywhere. Daniel Smorkowski, we know him quite well. He's our reporter. He's a fabulous writer. He writes for the Bugle. He's a global messenger for Special Olympics. He travels all over and gives speeches and talks about that. He's an athlete with Special Olympics. He founded Special Chronicles, specialchronicles.com. Go out and listen to some of his podcasts. It's just amazing. Michelle Forsley lives right here in town. Another wonderful, wonderful human being that, yes, has some special needs. She works for a local florist. She's an athlete. It's just endless. She's an equestrian, rides horses. She's amazing. And yes, there's some people with special needs that maybe aren't as high functioning, but their value is no less. I mean, whether they give you a big smile or a hug, or they're out rocking and rolling at the Taste of Westmont. I think, this is a very, very important a very important awareness that they do the first Wednesday of every month. So I urge everyone to go to r-word.org and take the pledge to end the R word. And I think it's important, and I hope that everyone will do it. And I thank Daniel for writing a wonderful article about this in the Bugle this week. So make sure you get a copy of the Bugle, read the article, and let's end the R word. It's important.
So it's the first Wednesday of every month?
No, it's the first Wednesday in March. Every
okay.
year. So, and that's all I have tonight,
Well, thank you.
as if that wasn't enough.
Well,
Thank
that
you.
was a good way to end it. And Daniel is usually here covering our
he's
meeting.
great.
Tonight he's
Yeah.
not here, so.
No.
And I didn't mention, but public information will have a committee meeting in April, so.
Okay, thank you. Moving on the agenda, items will be removed from the consent agenda. Any of the board members requesting that any of the items be removed from the consent agenda?
Oh, yes, I would, I'm sorry. I would like to request that we remove the 2015 Organ Donation Awareness Month proclamation so that we can maybe do that later in the meeting.
We'll do it right after the consent.
Right after
agenda.
the consent.
Yes.
Great, thank you.
Any other items that anybody would like to remove? All right, well, do we need a vote on that to remove it? Motion was made by,
Second, Scott.
to remove the 2015 Organ Donation Awareness Month proclamation off the consent agenda. On the question, roll call.
So Sue, you made the motion?
Yes, and
And
Trustee
Trustee
Scott.
Scott was, okay. Trustee Seneca?
Yes.
Trustee Nero?
Yes.
Trustee Barker?
Yes.
Trustee Scott?
Yes.
Trustee Barry?
Yes.
Trustee Addington?
Yes.
Seeing no other items to be removed, I'll ask Manager May to please read.
Mayor, first on the consent agenda will be the village board minutes. Board to consider approving the minutes of the village board meeting held February 19th, 2015. Next is finance ordinance number 21 in the amount of $977,986.11. Next is purchase orders, of which there are just two this evening. First purchase order, Thomas Engineering, $50,979.30. This is the engineering services for the CBD alley reconstruction. This is a purchase order. You've already approved the contract. This is the purchase order that accompanied the award that happened at the last meeting. Next purchase order is Westmont Park District, $8,135.15, and that is for the salary reimbursement for the landscape architect. Total of purchase orders is $59,114.45, which brings the total of purchase orders and finance ordinance number 21 to $1,037,100.56. The next item was separated from the consent agenda. The last item on the consent agenda under community events will be the 2015 Chicago Prostate Center 5K event. Board to consider approving an ordinance for Chicago Prostate Center 5K event on September 13th, including the following. First, amplified sound permit during the event hours, which will be 8 a.m. to noon. And second, partial street closure of Pasquinelli Drive from the Chicago Prostate Center, which is at 815 Pasquinelli Drive, north to 35th Street, and on Oakmont Drive, west of Pasquinelli. That concludes the consent agenda.
Do I have a motion to?
So moved, Addington.
Second, Nero.
Motion made and second to approve as read. On the question? Anybody from the audience has a question? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Addington?
Yes.
Trustee Nero?
Yes.
Trustee Barker?
Yes.
Trustee Scott?
Yes.
Trustee Barry?
Yes.
Trustee Seneca?
Yes.
We'll move on to the one item that was removed from the consent agenda, and that's the 2015 Organ Donation Awareness Month proclamation. And I'd like, at this time, before we read the proclamation, I'd like to call to the podium Gwen Westland, and she can give us a little information, and come on up to the microphone, about this, your event, and then we will then read the proclamation.
Hi, I'm Gwendolyn Westland. Most of you know me. We're having an event at Westmont High School on March 28th, Saturday. It's 9 to 3. We're going to have a blood drive. We're going to have organ donation, education events in 15-minute increments. I just did the walkthrough today with Life Goes On. We're meeting their requirements, so hopefully we will have the Secretary of State in attendance. Things are moving along, so we're going to have Be the Match there as well, giving a little bit of education for anybody who's interested in getting matched DNA for bone marrow transplants. Sounds scarier than it is. It's a swab. But that's why we do the educations, to let everybody know. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm living proof of blood donations and organ donation. I'm a heart transplant survivor. I'm also a cancer survivor. So,
and a zip liner.
And a zip liner.
Yeah, I saw.
And recently, a zip liner. I just came back from vacation. So yeah, it was actually a wonderful time because I was able to go out and speak to a lot of people from different countries and actually inspire some people there. So that was wonderful too. But back on point. We have Sweet and Savory, who's going to be our primary, I think, vendor for food and beverage. We're still in the works with dealing with someone local for T-shirts, but we're trying to keep everything as local and Westmont orientated as possible. It's just a really important cause. It's an awareness event, not a fundraiser, so I think that's really important too, just to get everybody in the community involved and come out and see me and lots of other donors like me. And the Life Goes On team will actually be focusing a little bit on Vicki Tolkis as well, who was a Westmont local and worked for the Life Goes On and Gift of Hope programs for quite some time and passed away while on the wait list for a kidney. So yes, she had her services at Holy Trinity. And she, I believe actually, Westmont High School, I think was her school. So I was just there today, and they'd like to do a little something in her honor as well. So that ties everything in very nicely. And the man doing the presentation with me from Life Goes On, Dan Leitz, is actually her fiance, who now works with the Life Goes On program. So just a lot of things close to home. So I think things are coming along very nicely. We've got the library coming in to support as well and do recycled craft table. Hopefully we'll have some music from Uncle John's Music, and the ukulele circle is coming in the morning, so that'll get us going. And it should be a lot of fun and important, obviously.
We know that you're a living example, and you're also very passionate about.
I am extremely passionate.
Organ donor, and your story. If you listen to your story, and I'm sure you'll be telling it on the 28th.
I will be. Several times.
My wife always doubted when I told her your story. She has now second thoughts about becoming an organ donor. Just listening to what you went through and how you're here today because somebody else donated their heart. So
yeah,
we want to thank you for leading that cause.
I appreciate every ounce of support you guys have given, and I couldn't be more grateful. And I tell everybody every day, you don't always have good days, but you're grateful for every single one of them.
And at this time, I'd ask Manager May to please read the proclamation.
The item you will be voting on is board to consider a proclamation to declare April 2015 as National Organ Donor Awareness Month in Westmont. Whereas Illinois Secretary of State Jesse White is a champion for organ donation and promotes this opportunity through the website lifegoeson.com, and whereas about 123,000 people are waiting for an organ donation at this time, and whereas one organ donor can save up to 8 lives, and organs and tissues from one donor can benefit 50 people. And whereas living donors can donate a kidney, parts of a liver, lung, pancreas, or intestine, and whereas 18 people die each day while waiting for a transplant. And whereas the month of April has been proclaimed National Donate Life Month by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, which is promoted on organdonor.gov. And whereas Westmont resident Gwendolyn Westland is coordinating a special event entitled A Recycled Life to promote organ donation awareness, and whereas this new event, A Recycled Life, will be held at Westmont High School on March 28th, 2015 to promote organ donation and blood donation. Now therefore be it resolved, Ronald J. Gunther, by virtue of him, the authority vested in him as mayor of the Village of Westmont, does hereby proclaim April 2015 as Organ Donor Awareness Month in the Village of Westmont.
Do I have a motion?
So moved, Scott. Second, Seneca.
Motion made and second to approve the proclamation. On the question.
Can I just ask for the donating blood? Are they doing by appointment, or does it just show up?
It's preferred appointment, but you
Okay.
can just walk in.
Okay.
And we have 100 appointments to book, so book them. Pass it on.
Spread the word.
There.
Any other questions?
No.
Anybody in the audience have, seeing?
I'm here, ask
Yeah.
them. Do you mind, actually?
Please come on the 28th. There's some
Mind
good
if I say
stories.
something really quickly? I'm sorry, I'd just like to point out really quickly that there's another member in the audience here who donated very recently, actually, a kidney to his
Oh, come up
father.
here, Noriel.
So-
Come up here.
You know what? You would be surprised how many people you meet once you learn about this. You're gonna meet everybody now. You're just gonna know like your neighbors. We went to the school. Come here and introduce yourself.
They all know me.
They all know him. But I mean, I went to the school today, and there's I guess a custodian who I don't know his name. I didn't ask because it's private, but who recently found out that he needs a transplant as well. And the custodial team was telling me, gosh, we would have never even, hit this close to home before you came in and made such a big deal about it. And now someone we know is having this happen. And it's like, it really could be anybody. So going out and meeting people is really important.
And I know Noriel.
So my name is Noriega. I work for the Village of Westmont Public Works. And back in November 10th, I donated one of my kidneys to my father. And he's doing quite well now. He's active again. Actually looks very good health-wise. Actually just had lunch with him today. So very grateful for science, and pray every day that, just again, the hope that, he's here with us a little bit longer.
For sure.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. So
all right.
just really cool that people are everywhere. So
We can at least applaud for that.
I know, right? Living donors are awesome.
Any additional questions? If not, I'll have a roll call, please.
Trustee Scott.
Yes.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Trustee Scott. I'm sorry. Trustee
say yes
Seneca.
again.
I'm sorry. I just saw the S and said Scott.
Oh, Seneca,
Trustee
me?
Seneca.
Yes.
Trustee Barry.
Yes.
Trustee Addington.
Yes.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
I guess you're giving that to me.
I guess I'm giving you your proclamation. Very good. Very good. Okay. What happens when you wear a tie?
Awesome.
Thank you. All right, moving on to, on the agenda, we do not have any unfinished business. We'll move on to new business. 18 West Quincy Street, the Hinsdale Bank and Trust ATM. Manager May.
Well, this item was, I'll read the item. Board to consider an ordinance approving the following request for Hinsdale Bank and Trust to operate an automated teller machine in the B1 Limited District. The item, the actual agreement is still being fine-tuned, so we're not prepared to act on it tonight, so we would ask that you postpone it to the very next meeting on March 19th.
I'll entertain a motion to postpone this agenda item.
Motion to postpone, Barker.
Second, Nero.
Any questions? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Trustee Seneca.
Yes.
Trustee Addington.
Yes.
Trustee Barry.
Yes.
Trustee Scott.
Yes.
New business B, 212 and 212A East Chicago Avenue, Irish Dance Academy special use. Board to consider an ordinance approving a special use permit request from Elaine Healy Godley, Irish Dance Academy, to allow the operation of a dance studio in the B2 General Business District. Director Ziegler.
Thank you, Mayor. The applicants are here tonight to request a dance studio in an existing shopping center. The studio can accommodate 2 classes with 2 instructors. The parking needs are sufficient with the shopping center's private parking lot. And the shopping center tenant space is located in the downtown TIF district, but this area is not proposed for redevelopment. The studio will occupy an existing tenant space, and customers may patronize other local businesses. Staff recommended that the use be approved with the installation of sound baffling materials as part of the tenant build-out due to previous sound complaints from other dance school locations. The Planning and Zoning Commission unanimously recommended approval.
Do I have a motion?
Motion approved, Scott.
Second, Addington.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve as presented. On the question. Anybody from the audience? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Scott.
Yes.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Trustee Addington.
Yes.
Trustee Seneca.
Yes.
Trustee Barry.
Yes.
Thank you.
Passes. New business C, engineering agreement, 2015 spring MFT resurfacing project. Board to consider an ordinance authorizing an engineering agreement with Seco Consultants Incorporated for material testing and inspection services for the 2015 spring motor fuel tax resurfacing project. Manager May.
This item is the engineering services that go with the street resurfacing. The complicated name is the IDOT, naming and numbering system, but it is just our street resurfacing project. If you recall, we're doing 2 per year. So the spring project will go out to bid and have its own construction award. This is for the engineering services, which is not so much, it is the physical laboratory inspections and material quality control services for that project. We use Siegel regularly.
I know. Director Ramsey, got anything else to?
No, this is just a company we've used many, many times. They're a reputable company. We highly recommend them using with this agreement.
Okay. Do I have a motion?
Motion, Addington.
Second, Barry.
Motion made and second to approve as presented. On the question. Seeing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Addington.
Yes.
Trustee Barry.
Yes.
Trustee Scott.
Yes.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Trustee Seneca.
Yes.
Passes. New business D, 2015 DuPage Mayors and Managers Conference, Legislation Action Program. Board to consider a resolution endorsing the DuPage Mayors and Managers Conference 2015 Legislative Action Program. Manager May.
The Village Board is annually asked by DuPage Mayors and Managers Conference to consider endorsing their legislative action program. The endorsement provides staff with direction and the needs to be communicated to our legislators. For anyone that doesn't know, DuPage Mayors and Managers we're a member as they represent us as, they are our council of government that we use with all DuPage communities, and together as all our neighbors in the county get together and decide on these legislative actions. And this is just your acknowledgement supporting what the cumulative group has put forth.
Do I have a motion to pass the resolution?
Motion to approve, Barker.
Second, Addington.
The resolution's actually in the packet. I just want to make sure everybody saw it.
It's in your packet, okay. Motion made in second. Are there any questions? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Trustee Scott.
Yes.
Trustee Barry.
Yes.
Trustee Seneca.
Yes.
Trustee Addington.
Yes.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
New business E, firefighters pension fund. The board to consider an ordinance approving the following. 1, creating and establishing a firefighters pension fund. And 2, creating a board of trustees of said firefighters pension fund. Director Parker.
So I wanted to kind of explain to the board, these next three items are all very closely related. They all deal with the creation of a fire pension fund. And so as I kind of explain the reasons for this first one, they'll all kind of tie into the next two items as well. As the board's aware, the village has a great program in our fire department that's been able to save a lot of money over the years of using part-time firefighters. One of the benefits that we've had over the last several years has been the fact that we have not had any pension costs for these firefighters. And as the board's also aware, there was a recent change made by IMRF, which is the pension fund for kind of the general government employees, for general municipal employees. And their change made it so that our firefighters, we basically have two choices. We can either fund pensions for a large number of our firefighters and treat them as regular municipal employees and fund them for all of the firefighters that work more than 1,000 hours a year. And that would be a cost of over $200,000 to the village. We have another option where we can hire at least one full-time firefighter, and then that would trigger the firefighters being funded under a firefighter pension, which is a separate pension which would require the creation of a pension. And that cost we estimate to be around an extra $20,000 to the village. And so as the finance director, obviously $20,000 cost is better, in my opinion, than $200,000 cost. And so the proposal that's here in front of the village board is a way to maintain our part-time firefighters program in a cost-effective way so that we can do this with a cost of only about $20,000. And so the steps which we would have to take would be, number one, to set up a fire pension, which is this first item. This pension would function very similar to the police pension, where there'd be a board of the pension, and the village would need to make contributions to that pension. We had budgeted, as you'll recall, about $20,000 to be able to put in as seed money for this pension, and that's what would be the recommendation, that we put in that $20,000 to kind of start things off, and then over the next years we put in whatever the actuary suggests that we put in as they do their study. So we would create the pension, and then the next step, of course, is to hire an employee for that pension, and that's the next item that you'll see. And then the final step, and I guess I can talk more about the pickup when we get to that point. So I guess that kind of covers the creation of the pension board itself, and that's the first item that's in front of you. Any questions about that?
At this point, we're looking for a motion to consider an
You want to
ordinance
handle
to
these
approve.
one and two separately?
They can be
They're
held
together.
They can put them together, okay.
One ordinance.
Then I'll make a motion to approve establishing the pension fund, and two, to create the board for the pension fund, for the firefighters.
Here, a second.
Second by Barry.
On the question.
Yeah, as far as the setting up the pension fund itself, is there, I know with the police department pension fund, there's very specifics as far as who goes on there. Was, I think, one pensioner, one police officer, and then a couple of community people. Do we have the same dictates?
It is. It's the very similar structure where there'll be two people that the mayor appoints, and there would be, if we had a full complement, we would then have also two active members and a retired member that would make up the pension board. However, at this point, we're not going to have, we're only going to be having one active member, so that active member would then serve as the member of the pension board.
Mm-hmm.
We would not have a second active member because there wouldn't be more than one active member. We don't have any retirees, so they wouldn't serve there.
Basically,
So
it'd be 3 members.
it would be a 3-member board, and the entirety of the 3-member board would have to approve anything. So it would have to be unanimous because they need 3 votes out of the 5 total to pass anything.
Any additional questions?
Is there a reason we can't use the police pension board?
So it does have to be a separate board, but we could certainly approach the same members that are currently on the police pension board and ask them if they would also be willing to serve on the fire pension board.
And I think that's kind of one of the ideas, so we have some experience going in.
Right.
Yeah.
That would be a good idea.
Yeah.
We have not approached them yet, have not talked to them, but we certainly could.
Any additional questions?
Let's create it and then.
Anybody from the audience?
Yeah.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Addington.
Yes.
Trustee Barry.
Yes.
Trustee Scott.
Yes.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Trustee Seneca.
Yes.
right, the second part of this is new business F, hiring freeze, the fire department. Board to consider a motion to temporarily lift the hiring freeze for the sole purpose of hiring a deputy fire chief. Manager May.
Very simply, just in connection with this same item, we're need to fill the position of deputy fire chief. Technically, it is part of the succession plan that you already approved, but it is a new position. It requires lifting of the hiring freeze. We're asking you to do that now, and we're finishing steps of putting the advertisement together.
You have anything to add there, Director Parker?
Nope, just sort of the piece to avoid the higher pension cost is to have a pension fund and then have somebody in it. So now we've got the fund, and we need somebody in it. That's what this next one does.
He's smart.
In other words, a warm body is prerequisite, yeah.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Temporary
Addington.
lift.
Second, Nero.
Motion been made in second to lift the hiring freeze. On the question. Anybody from the audience? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Addington.
Yes.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Trustee Scott.
Yes.
Trustee Seneca.
Yes.
Trustee Barry.
Yes.
Part 2 passed. We go on to the third part of this, new business G, the fire pension employee contributions. Board to consider a resolution providing for the procedures to fund the Village of Westmont's firefighter pension fund from participants' contributions. Director of Finance Parker.
Right, so now that we have the pension and we're going to be having somebody in there, now the next question is how we handle their contributions. And there's basically two ways to do this. The net effect to the village and to the employee is really the same. The only question is about how the contributions are treated by the IRS as a tax, on a tax basis. And so the way that the police pension is set up and also the way that the IMRF pension is set up is such that the contributions that an employee makes are not taxed at the time. They will then be taxed when they get the pension payout. And so what this resolution does is it does the same thing for the fire pension, so that as employees make their contributions to the fire pension, it's tax deferred until they withdraw the pension. And so technically, from the IRS perspective, technically what we're doing is we're saying the village is making the contribution for the employee and we're paying the employee less the amount that they would have contributed. So we're basically saying we're reducing their salary so they're not taxed on it, and then the village is putting the reduction from salary, that same amount they're putting into the pension. So technically, from the IRS perspective, that's what we're doing. The net impact is really just that the employee pays the same amount as they would pay for the pension, they pay in reduced salary, and all it does is defer the taxes for them.
Do I have a motion to approve the resolution?
So
Motion.
Seneca.
Motion to approve, Barry? Sorry.
Second, Addington.
Motion been made in second. On the question. Anybody from the audience? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Barry.
Yes.
Trustee Addington.
Yes.
Trustee Scott.
Yes.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Trustee Seneca.
Yes.
We'll move on to miscellaneous, and I asked Director of Finance Parker to remain there. Can you tell the public when our budget workshops or the sessions will be?
Yes, we have two budget workshop sessions coming up. We've got one on Monday, April 6th, and one on Tuesday, April 7th. They'll both start at 5:30 p.m. right here, and we'll be kind of, the plan is to kind of go through pretty much the whole budget on Monday, cover the highlights, and then go into any further detail or discussion that we need to do on Tuesday. If there's more budget workshops, we'll schedule them at that point if any more are needed. We'd like to have as many people from the public there as possible. We'd like to get the public's perception, get the perspective from the public here, and then also have the public be educated about kind of the way their tax dollars are spent and the things we're doing as part of the village.
Thank you.
If I could make a comment on, it seemed like last year, the Saturday meetings were the most attended by the public.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we maybe need to make that available again because of people's work schedules and so forth. I know that that's a little bit more, the trustees might hang me afterwards, but really it seemed like that's where we had the public input, was on the Saturday mornings or whatever we did. So whatever that's worth, Spencer. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
What's the board?
Yeah, if
No,
boards like to. Sure.
I think what we did was, we sent that out kind of picking the couple best dates that we could get the most trustees, and I think those 2 dates, I believe, were, almost everybody can attend.
And the Saturday after, so April 11th was available for everyone, but things go well, we'll be done by then, but it doesn't mean we can't have a recap or a presentation on.
But we can, you know what, we can have it again on Saturday. We could skip Tuesday and go to Saturday then.
You know, that's not a bad idea.
Saturday is the election day, that's been.
I mean, Tuesday's election day.
Tuesday, rather.
But everybody.
We can't interrupt the
Well, we
parties.
did have two, I think we
There
I
had
don't want
two
parties, but I'm a committeeman.
on
I'm
Saturday.
supposed
We
to be
had
in
quite a
two.
few
Yeah.
residents show up. We
Yeah,
did
I
have.
agree. Why don't we start off with the 6th, and then on that Saturday, the 11th?
Perfect.
I know, Larry, it's been publicized, but we'll
So
have to
just-
change it.
Yeah, just so that the board's aware, I believe
Larry.
the neighbors publication that has already been sent out had indicated we would have one on Tuesday. Is that correct, Larry? The one that was published previously. I mean, we don't necessarily have to do that. We can
Or,
let people know that it's changed.
Spencer and I can do it.
Yeah, Steve and I can be here, and, any public that do happen to come, we can just give them a recap.
I was going to say, we could maybe just add, an hour and a half or 2 hours on Saturday and do the recap, and then.
Maybe we just do that, a recap on Saturday.
But I also think we
Just
have
have a video
a
of it
lot
right
of
here.
work with the possibilities of cuts that we have to look at both sides of that budget as, if it's one way and if it's another. So I think there's a lot of work to be done there.
Well, it's a whole different budget with LGDF going south.
Then does everybody say, well, let's keep the 7th, and then we'll schedule the Saturday on top of it?
6, 7, and 11.
Okay, there you go.
I'm okay with that.
That's the way to do it. Bring up when you're not
Is that,
considered.
and you better be
You
there,
better
trustee
be
Barry.
kidding.
Maybe out of town.
Oh, you guys are all
All right,
funny.
to consensus then, and we'll have staff advertise, we'll continue with the 2 dates we've published, and then we'll add the 11th, no matter where we're at with the budget process, to at least go over it for anybody that couldn't attend the first two.
So I can call it.
Thank you. Any other miscellaneous items? Seeing none, we do not have an executive session this evening, so I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move, Scott.
Second by Barry. Motion been made and second to adjourn. Roll call, please.
Trustee Scott?
Yes.
Trustee Barry?
Yes.
Trustee Addington?
Yes.
Trustee Seneca?
Yes.
Trustee Nero?
Yes.
Trustee Barker?
Yes.
Again, I thank everybody for coming, and this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Don't forget the.